Hey everyone, Kathy back with Big Barn Blooms. How is everyone? Happy Thursday. When you come on, say hi, tell me where you're watching from, and let me know you can hear and see me before we get too far into this. Get my iPad going here, and we'll get rolling. Before we get too far into this. Oops, let me turn myself down. I don't want to hear myself. All right, here we go. All right, we are on and ready to roll. Who is with me today? Can everyone hear and see me? Someone say hi and say, yep, thumbs up. Volume and everything is good. It looks like everything's working. Nicole, hey Nicole, happy Thursday. Janet, yay, thank you Janet. All right guys, so everyone can hear and see me. All right, you guys. If we have time, we're going to do 2 designs today. Yes, 2 designs. So let me move things around a little bit, make some room. How are you guys on this beautiful Thursday? All right, we have that styrofoam everywhere. We have 2 designs. Hey Diane, how are you? 2 designs today, and yes, they are both kits again. Trying to get my spring kits out. So these, the bunnies have gone to bed, although there's a few back there I still got to work on. But the bunny kits are just about gone. I have a few left, and I'll post later what is still available in those. We shipped a bunch off this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone that ordered. Now, guess what we're going into? Hey Karen, good to see you. Nancy from Vermont. Hi Nancy, welcome in. Come on in, you guys. Willard, hello, good to see you on. So, we are changing from bunnies to birds. So Bob makes all my bunnies, and now he's making my birds. He's been busy, busy, busy. Hey Jennifer, welcome in. So you guys, my favorite bird ever, this little French crowned bird is going to be in these kits today. Yes, look at how cute. Is that adorable or what? So this is the bird we're going to use. Let me show you the kits. They're so good. So good. So we're going to do, it's a cheese board. Yeah. But we're going to make it into arrangement. You know how I love my tray kits. Look at this one. Oh my goodness. Can you see the detail? There's dragonflies and birds and all kinds of flowers. So we're going to stay in this color scheme, which is so pretty. So when you get the kit, you guys, you're going to get everything you need but tools. Okay? So I'll show you what you're going to get. You're going to get the board. It will already have the foam installed, which is awesome. You'll get a little bag of foam, or foam moss, so you can moss it like I did. Then let me show you the flowers, if we can get a hold of them correctly. You're going to get the little bird that goes on the tray. And then this is what we're putting with this. Look how well it matches. Look at how it goes. So this is what we're going to use to design. These will all come in your kit. So you're going to get some tiny, tiny snowball hydrangeas. I love these. The color is perfect. It matches the tray perfectly. You're going to get those. You're going to get some baby ranunculus for accents. You're going to get a bush of my fern. You're going to get a few pieces of lavender for height. And then your other greenery, a stem of this and a stem of the variegated to fill the whole thing out. So that is the kit. And then what we have to decide, because, and I've never done this on a kit, I thought I'd let you guys decide if we add ribbon to it or not. We could put a tiny little piece to the side. So that is the kit. Well, let's get going. And we have one more if we have time. If not, we could do it tomorrow. So there's that pretty bundle. Isn't that pretty, you guys? Look at those colors. And what I love about this one is this is not Easter. Even though it can be used for Easter, it can go right from spring, which is coming up, and into summer. So, especially with the cute little French bird. All right, let's see who else is coming on. Nancy's on from Vermont. We said hi, Jennifer. Right on, you guys. Okay, ooh, lost comments. Hold on. Hold the phone. Okay, so do you want to see kit number 2? Shall I show you? It's a good one. I think you guys are going to like it. They both are going to have the bird. let me show you this one. Similar color schemes. Love it. I just love the soft blues, and it's almost like a periwinkle blue. We're going to take this little can. It will already have the foam installed. You just have to moss it. It has a nice little handle. There goes my tripod. Hold on. I got to fix this. Hold on. Hold on. My tripod fell. I'm going to lift it up and adjust it. It is having a day. Hold on. Oh, man. Okay, let's lift that up. Let's point it down. So we just have to adjust. You're gonna see me from up above now, because I guess the little tablecloth I was using, that ain't good. All right, you can still see me. Might even be able to see me better. Hold on, you guys. Let's make some adjustments here. Okay, don't look at my mess back there. Okay, let's turn that a little bit. Let's see, how can we do this? Table down, which is weird, that's never happened. Okay, hold on. We'll get this right. Let's see. I think I can put it right there. You'll see a little bit from above, but you'll still be able to see it. Oh, you can see my garbage can. Isn't that special? I don't think, hold on. Let me see, I'm gonna do something else. I'm wondering if I can put it over there, it'd probably be too far away. Darn it. My messy side table. Let's try this. Let's try this, and we'll see if that looks good. Let me look from this. Oh, hi. Wilhelmina watching me on YouTube. I like it. I need to go live over there on YouTube, definitely. Okay, that's needs to come back a little bit. I hate it when that happens. Maybe from the side. Let me try over here. We're going to play with this for a second, so bear with me while everybody comes on. Let's see if we come over from the side here. And maybe you don't see me, but hey, you'll see the table better. Oh, I kind of like that. What do you guys think of that? So, look at my little ghost poking out from all the flowers. I think this might work. We'll try that. All right, so you've got the bucket. And the bucket is actually, it'll come with a moss in it, right? Check that out. And then here are the flowers for that. It's very similar, a little bit different that we don't have the ranunculus, but we have some cosmos. So let me get this bundle together. Carefully, carefully. This is the bundle. Look at this, you guys. Look at these flowers. Are those not gorgeous? So you get those little snowballs again, same greenery. You get all this. Oh, I need a thing of ferns. I may have to go grab a thing of fern. Did I not bring two in? You know me, I'm always forgetting something. No, it's behind me, so I'll grab it. But look at those. Are those fun or what? Good colors. Everything coordinates well. Here's the fern that goes with that one. Look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay. I actually kind of like this view a little bit better. Okay, Trisha says, hey Elizabeth. Pat says hi. Right? I'm glad I caught that too. Hey Des, hey Charlie, welcome in. Jennifer, I got remarried, so my last name has gone from Wood. Oh, hey Jennifer. To Mimi. I followed you for a while now. I'm good. How are you? It's so good to see you on. Selena, hey, you're not late. I had a phone. I had my table that my phone tripod sits on fall, so we had to adjust here. I'm going to bring that back a little bit more. That might be good. Let's see. Kind of like that. I think that'll be good. You guys will get a better view, I think, except don't look at the stuff around the bottom of my table. All right. Let's see. Carol's on. Julia's on. Janet, Jennifer, everyone. I like it. Okay. So we have the two. Which one, your first vote, which one would you guys like me to do first? The flower garden bucket or the tray kit that's grabbing, the moss is grabbing all the flowers? So you have your choice between these two. Which one, tray or bucket? Which one would you like me to see me do first? And we'll get going on it. Hey Patsy, Good to see you. And then while you guys are voting, I'm going to see if I can figure out what happened to my table. Over here. It's a little room. I'm in a spare bedroom. So, oh, I see what happened. Darn it. Stay. Let's see if I can fix it. Because that view is weird for me. Let's see. I think that might do it. All right, let's try this. We're going to do this one more time, you guys. Bear with me as we come up on this. Here we go. Too high. All right. I think it's going to be one of those days. I know it's one of those weeks for sure. All right, that looks pretty good, I think. So let's try it. So everybody's going, hey Joyce, good to see you on. Kim, Elizabeth, Debbie, you guys are all saying tray from what I can see. Selena saying tray. Patsy says bucket. Willard says the tray. Ellen says the tray. Okay, let's try that. I'm going to plug in my power source for that. Everybody say a prayer that this stays. And we'll get going again. Okay. I'm back. Say a prayer. Okay. So I think more people wanted the tray. So we'll start with the tray. Doesn't mean we won't do the bucket. This might be a double feature here. But let's start with this tray. Oh, love the tray. Okay, so when you get your tray, you will get the tray with the foam already installed, which is nice, like this. It's a cheese board, but I thought, how adorable would this be, you guys? Look at that. So that's already installed. And then what we need to decide is, do we put like a little green 7/8 inch bow on the side? You saw the colors we're using. The bird will be on the tray. Do we want a little ribbon? I can add it to the kit. It's up to you guys. You guys get to tell me what to do. So here's the kit. I don't have any blue ribbon because I know that's coming. I know you guys are going to go, oh, it should be blue. I just don't have any blue. But this green matches everything on the tray and in the kit. So it'll be more subdued and not compete with the large blue flowers. And you need to think about that when you add ribbon into your designs. Sometimes the ribbons is the star of the show, right? Sometimes you want the blooms to be the star. So this would be just a little accent on the side, a little simple bow. But it's up to you. We can put it in or we cannot. I did bring some large polka dot, but honestly, it's a little big for the tray. We may decide to put this in the bucket design. So what do you guys think? Oh, Patsy, thanks. I'm always on the hunt, always on the hunt. Carol says yes to the ribbon. I think it might be cute. A little piece of ribbon on the side. What the heck? All right, Carol, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. Let's put a little ribbon on. I'm going to put the bird aside for now so we can make a little bow. So in that case, what you'll get with your kit is also the ribbon. And then you'll get a little piece of wrapped wire, and that's how we're going to get it into the kit or into that foam. All right, so let's take a little piece of ribbon. Here's what you're going to do. Take your little piece of ribbon. We're going to have tiny tails on this because there's no drop. It's going to get right to the table really quick. So just a little tiny piece, and that'll be your first tail. Bring your ribbon up, and you're going to wrap it back. And this is what I mean when I say tiny, little loops like this. So this loop will be about 8 inches from our first pinch to this. So when you fold it back to the middle, it's a 4-inch loop. And I always give you a little extra ribbon, so if you want to make your tails longer or your loops a little bigger, you can. Once I measure that first one, no need to measure again. Bring it out, bring the sides back to the bottom again, and then just lift your loops up, and if they match in height, you've got the right size loop for the second one. Okay, we're gonna do 4. We'll do 4 little loops, 2 on each side. So we just do that back and forth like a figure 8. Do our second one, and then you're just matching that loop side to the bow loop it's going next to. And then all your bow loops will match. Then when you get to the end, we're just going to cut it. Yours will already be cut, so you'll trim it to the right size that you want. So there's your little bow. And then what we're going to do, take a zip tie, bring it around to the back, zip tie it, but don't zip it all the way down. No death zips, okay? Light zip just to hold the ribbon together. Don't go any further because we have to get this piece of wire underneath that zip tie right there. See how you can see through it? That's what you want to leave, a little gap. So don't let your ribbon go. That's why I say don't zip it too tight. Put this underneath that zip tie, 50% on each side. Now you can zip it down. I like to use my needle nose because my hands hurt all the time. So zip it as tight as you can. Cut off that excess. Right like that. So now it's hard to see because my wire is green, so is the ribbon. But you have 50% on each side of that zip tie, on the back of the bow. Okay, so now you're going to take this like a bread tie and you're going to twist it. Twist, twist, twist. The first time I do it, I push the one side to the other side, that side to the other side, you know what I mean? Like they're each on their own side, so I go this one over to this side, this one over to this side. I push them down as far as I can to get them as close to that ribbon as I can. That way when you twist it, it'll be tight down to the ribbon and you won't get a lot of movement in your bow in the design. I hope that makes sense. Little tip and trick there when you're installing a bow into a design. Okay, so let's get this twisted up like a bread tie. Now, if you have a fancy stemming machine, let me bring this into view. You're going to use it. If not, here's the stemming machine. If you have a Hobby Lobby and you want one of these, now is the time. They've clearanced them. They're like $142, you guys. They're normally like $280 something, so they're like half price. So grab one. They're discontinuing them, and the box of little metal picks is normally $20, and they're like $10. So good time if you can find them, because I know people have been grabbing them up. But if you don't have one, you can literally put some glue on this and push it into your design. It'll be just fine. But because I have the fancy machine, I'm going to use it. So I'm going to put one of these picks on. It's like a little spike, if you've never seen it before. It goes right, crimps right onto that wire that we just twisted like a bread tie. And do you see the little spikes? And on either side of that little pick, it's jagged. That prevents it from backing out of the foam. So now that it's on there, I'm going to fluff it a little bit. Bring my tails down to the same side. And we just do a little fluffing. And we'll trim these to the right size when we get it in, but there's your little bow. Simple, right? Okay, so I'm going to put this, if I'm looking at this, for me, it's on my left side. You can make it your own and put your bow wherever you want, but I like to put them on the left. Now, this is a little long. These are 2 1/8 inch picks I'm using, but because I don't have a real deep foam base, I'm going to cut it in half, just so I don't hit bottom and not get this all the way in. So this is going to go on the side on a little bit of an angle, all the way in like that, and then we'll fluff it up. You can spread these out or you can keep them in a row. It's totally your design. So make it yours, you guys. Have fun with it. Okay, and my tails are a little long, so I'm going to clip those a little bit. And that is how you get a bow into a floral design, right like that. But we have a lot more to put in this, so it's not going to look so green on green and dark. A lot of contrast coming up. So there's the first part. Kim says, love the green ribbon. I don't. These will be listed tonight. So usually I try to get a list before I go live, but it's been quite the day today. So we'll list them tonight when I get off of here. And I have an idea, but I have to crunch my numbers a little bit. Deb, hey, good to see you on a live. Let's see. Oh, Nicole said yes to the ribbon too. I like it. Okay, and so does Selena. I love it. Okay, so before we get into all the yummy flowers, I want to get some of the base greens going. So we're going to put these two guys are gonna look so good aside. This is gonna come later. Let's get a little of the lavender in. We don't want it this tall. I mean, you don't want it coming up that high. If you do, you don't have to cut yours down as far. I'm gonna bring mine in a little tighter. So I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna clip them. Now, something I wanna mention about the stemming machine, if you have it, use it. If you don't, you're gonna wanna go on Amazon. They're in my Amazon storefront, little plug there. I get a tiny commission. Or Hobby Lobby has them. I believe Michael's has them. Most craft stores do. The wooden picks with the copper wires. And I don't think I have any in here anymore, but it's a wooden pick, just like that. Has a copper wire coming off the top. You put it next to your stem and then you wrap the wire around it to attach it. Then I usually add a little glue to make sure it's super secure. So if you don't have a stemming machine, you'll want to get some of those to do this kit. All right, so that looks like a pretty good size. So I'm going to put a pick on it, right like that. I am going to cut the pick a little shorter, because why not, right? And then this is going to come right in the back here. Right into the back, straight up and down. We have a couple pieces of them, so this is kind of going off to one side. You can bend them. So the other one's going to come off the other way. So I'm going to cut this one short too. Add a pick. And this one is going to come right back. This is kind of framing the back of our design. I'm going to cut that down. I almost forgot. So annoying me. And we're going to put this in an angle right here. So they'll be right next to each other. And then they kind of fan out with the design. And you could bring some of them forward a little bit if you want. But this is basically the look that you'll have. So 2 little bundles of lavender, and that's what you do with them. Super, super simple. And then you have little, when you cut the end off, you'll have little leaves. You can save those, put them around at the end. I'm not going to for this demonstration, but you can save them to fill in if you want, or use them for another project. Trust me, I have a box of leaves down here. I think everyone that does flowers does that. It's like we save all the scraps, because you never know. Sometimes you need just a little bit, right? Patsy, I'll put a link to it here when I'm done in the comments. It's also, I believe, pinned in my about information on this page. So it's pinned a couple places. It's on my TikTok, it's on my Instagram, and it's here. So, but I'll also pin it in comments when I'm done. Okay, so now that we have that in, and I like to get the lavender in first because now I'm going to put some of this behind it and in front of it. So this great little spray of variegated greenery, look at all the pieces it has. So we're going to cut it down. So I'm first going to cut off the 2 bottom pieces, like this, so you'll have 2 like this. And then this has a tall one. That is way too tall, so we're going to cut that down. And I'm going to bring it to right about here. So I'm cutting, if you have your stem when you get it, the very bottom, because I'm going to trim them to go in the kit where the branches start branching off. I trimmed about 8 inches of the bottom off. Little leaves, we may use them later to fill in. We're going to put those aside. So now you have 3 pieces that are just about identical. So we're going to take the first one, and I'm going to bring this right behind the lavender. We're going to put a pick on it. And then what I'm going to do, when you're putting leaves toward the back of your design and your foam starts to roll off in the back, so it's not square and then squares down. This is more of a mound of foam. So if I were to go straight down, I'm not going to hit foam. So what you can do, if you're at the back of the design and you're running out of foam, horizontal foam space, just put a little bend forward on it like that. So now I can get it into the foam, but it'll still stand straight up. So a little bend. We're going to come right in the back here and push it on in. And then it stands up and it does what it should. Right like that, right like that, right like that. So that's your first piece of greenery. And then we're going to take these guys, and I'm actually going to cut these down because I don't need a wall. I don't want a wall. I don't want, you know, I want it to kind of taper off to the sides. So we don't want these the same height. So what I'm going to do with this is cut this into 2 pieces. So the bottom of it that I cut off is about 4 inches. And then I'll do the same thing on this one. We'll take it and I'll cut it right to there. So now we'll have 2 pieces this size. I love to cut down stems and sprays. 2 pieces this size. This one's a little bit thicker because it's not completely symmetrical, this spray. So we can make it as symmetrical as we want though. So now we're going to take these, and these are going to come in the side here. So I'm going to put another pick. Now, if you don't have the stemming machine, you can put one of those wood picks around it, or you can just add some glue and push it in. These are very strong stems, and it'll be just fine if you did that. So this is going to come on the side over here. Again, let's put a little bend. Let's put a little bend on that so I can get it into that foam and have it be at the right angle like that. Do the same with this one. Put that little bend on it. If you're using metal picks, use your needle nose so you don't slice your hand. I've done it. Trust me, it's not fun. Okay, so we're going to push this in on this side, right like that. So see how it kind of frames it without it being a wall all the same length? You don't want that. And then it still looks cute from the side. Right like that. Okay, now we have these little guys. So if I'm looking at this, I want one coming out the front a little bit. So we're going to come right into the foam over here, and it kind of drapes off the side. And then this one is going to come out by the bow. Lift that bow up and bring that under the bow. And the bow loops come over it a little bit, which is kind of a cool look. Right like that. So see how it comes under the bow? So that's where I put it in. And then this one on this side drapes out a little bit too. So there's the start of our range, you guys. Yeah, Patsy, doesn't it? I strive to find the most realistic stems, greenery, blossoms, blooms, everything I can. It's like the little hydrangea ones. These are soft touch. They feel real. When you look at them, you can't tell. You think they're real. Love, love, love. I love using high quality in my designs. Okay. Hey, Amy, how are you today? A lot of Amy's inside the barn, so I haven't really talked about that too much. But I have an online coaching group. It's called Inside the Barn, because this is Big Barn Blooms, right? So you can come inside the barn with me. We meet 3 times a week, 1 for shopping or Q&As and 2 designs, plus 2 pre-records every month. So you get anywhere between 10 and 14 tutorials per month. It is a subscription, but once you join, you can drop out. You can walk out that barn anytime after the first payment. So it's $35 a month, and you have a library with well over 100 videos in it, plus what we do on a weekly basis all the time. So fun group. So I'll put the link to that too in comments when we're done, but it is open for new members. So if you like my teaching style, you can see me all week long. All right, so here's this guy. Let's get, before we add the fern, let's get some of this greenery in. This one has 4 pieces on it, so we're gonna break it down. Break it down. We don't need all this height. So we're gonna cut it and then see where we need it. This little guy has 2 pieces, which is cool. So I think there's 2 of them that do that, yes. So I think these 2 little ones, we're gonna break down even more. So we're gonna break the one that has 2 into 2 pieces. This one has 2. So I'm cutting it right above where the second piece jets off. Like you're pruning a tree, you guys, right there. And it turns it into 2 pieces. So now we have 2, 4, 6 pieces to put in. So we'll start with the larger ones. We have one that's big, the other 4 a little bit shorter. But I want a darker background in the very back, just to kind of, this is a lot of variegation here and it's bright, but we need a little dark coming in. So we're going to pull this right, actually not in the back, in the front. So the variegated stuff kind of shines through. So I'm going to move that out of the way. The bow. And this will make the flowers pop a little more. The variegated's pretty, but we're putting in this, and this against this, there's not a lot of contrast. The green will bring that contrast back, so those will pop a little bit more. Okay, so I put one right in the middle. See how that just livens it up right there? And then let's get these two going. These are pretty much the same. So I kind of pair up. Once I cut something apart, I try to pair it up by size. So this was the longest one. It's a standalone. It was the only one that long. But now we're going to start stair-stepping down again, just like we did with the other green. So next to that one on the right, we're going to put this one. And notice, when I put these in, I'm not putting it straight up and down, okay? Like I said, we're not building a wall. So we're going to put this in at a bit of an angle, if that makes sense. So not straight up, tilt it out a little bit and put that in. So, and it's hard for me to build backwards. So I'm going to turn it and then I'll turn it around towards you. So we're going to come at an angle there with that one. And then behind the bow, kind of underneath a little bit, with this one. Right like that. But do you see how that's like making it deeper and richer? And it'll be a nicer backdrop for our flowers to go into. Okay, then I have three more. These two are the same. This one has more in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys, and you see how I have these that come out front? Let's put two of these coming out front. It's kind of cool when you break down some stems and you end up with this just the right amount that you need to do what you're going to do. And these break down that way, so it's really awesome. So we're going to put some picks on these, and I'm going to come around to the side now. So this one, I'm going to put a little bend so it keeps falling right along the tray. We're going to come kind of behind the variegated one, push that in, and then we're kind of like wrapping them together so they're combined, just like that. See that? So think about when flowers grow in the wild. When they grow, two different kinds of, say green, a greenery plant. When they grow, they start mixing, right, as they grow. And when I design, I try to do the same thing. You don't want a layer of this, a layer of this, a layer of this. You want some of those to kind of mesh together so it looks more natural. So we're going to start this back here, and then I'm going to kind of bring it around, weave it through the variegated, so it looks kind of cool, and all the way to the front. Now on this side where the ribbon is, it doesn't come out quite as far, like that. We've got the bow, and we've got the greenery on that side. So look at, what do you think right now? What do you think of the backdrop? That is our greens, except for our fern. The fern will accent everything when we have the flowers in. But do you see how easy it is to build a backdrop on a floral design? Step-by-step layering and intertwining things. Genia, hey, good to see you. Thanks, Dana. Thanks, Julia. Whoops. Carol, yes, I'll give you a link. I'll give you a link to the library inside the barn where all the videos are, and then you have to use your password that you created when you first joined. Absolutely, I will do that. I'll probably DM you. I'll see if it'll let me DM you and give you the link. Okay, so we've got that done. We have this one piece, and we may not even use it, but we'll see if we need it toward the end. We may put it here, it may be too much. You may end up with a piece of greenery left over. Okay, so next, look when you bring these in. So pretty. So we're going to bring some of these in. And I want one up high, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off of that. Put my pick on. Again, you can probably just add glue to these and push them in. But if you have a stemming machine, use it. If you have wooden picks, use them. It just gives it a little bit more security, right? Okay, so I'm going to come in the back on the right with this. This will be probably my tallest one. And we're just going to put it right in the middle there, just standing up like that, right? Easy peasy like that. Okay, let's take another one. You're gonna get 3. This one, we're gonna bring over the bow. So we're gonna stair step it down again. So I'm gonna cut this a little shorter. Let's see how short. I'm gonna cut off that bottom leaf. Put a pick in. Yep, I'm cutting that pick down a little bit. And I'm gonna come into here. And again, I'm not going straight up and down. This one I'm tilting out a little bit to put it in. And I gotta move those bow tails out of the way. So this is gonna tilt out and come right into here, right like that. Look at that. So from the side, and this is important, this is straight on, but this is a piece that will probably be displayed on an angle. Especially like the bird will not be attached. The bird will sit on the tray like this, right? So you need to make sure that if it's seen from the side looks good. If it's seen from the front looks good. You want all angles to look good on this. The back is just the back, but we're still gonna make sure it looks good. Okay, so that's that one. Now we have a third. Patsy loves the combo. I do too. This is such a good, I was so excited. We actually did a shopping and found these trays inside the barn. Well, they weren't in the barn, but you know what I mean. And I was like, oh my goodness. This will be limited to, I think there's only gonna be 5 kits. I'll just let you guys know now. And I'll post them when they've dropped tonight. And I'll figure out the cost and get them posted. But I was so excited about these. I wish they had had more. And I love that it has the handle because it's a cheese board. Okay, so we're gonna bring one more in here, and this one's gonna go low. So we're gonna cut this one. And this one's gonna go low, but a little bit closer to that first one. Let me cut that. And notice I'm saving all these leaves that I cut off because we may need some in the back. So this one, I'm gonna bring it in on an angle, and it's gonna go to the other side, but closer to that tall one. So sometimes you don't want them just in a, so it is a triangle. I like to work in triangles, but sometimes you need to offset them a little bit so it looks a little more natural. So we're going to push this guy in, so much fun, like that, and I'll bend him forward. Use your wires, guys, that are on your stems and your bushes because you can get those to go any direction you want. So see how it's offset as a triangle, but this bloom is a little closer to this bloom, and it will look really nice in the end. A little bit offset there. Okay. Next, you guys, we're gonna use some of these guys. These will be so pretty. So we're gonna cut these down. You end up with 3 main stems. So we're gonna cut them off from each other. So there's one. There is 2. And here is number 3. And you end up with some leaves. Okay, so we're gonna start with the first one. This guy here, maybe still too tall. It's gonna go in this area here. I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter, close up to the leaf, and I'm gonna add a pick. This one's gonna go by the ribbon, and it's gonna come right behind the ribbon. So I'm gonna come behind the ribbon, toward the middle a little bit, and push, oh, what did I not do? What were you supposed to remind me? Cut my pick. My picks are too long for this foam. So you just cut them. Another tip there, pick's too long and you hit bottom, but everything's still showing of your mechanics, just pull it back out and cut that pick in half. Okay, so let's go back into it now. Push this guy in. And then I'm gonna have one of these ranunculus kind of hang over the bow a little bit. It's kind of a good look. And this is where you start seeing the bow take on its shape and everything. Awesome. So there's the first little guy. And we have 3. I'm so excited to have 3. Definitely gonna cut this one down shorter. I'm gonna do the same thing. We're going to pick it. We're going to cut that. Now, if you get the wood picks and they're longer, same thing, just cut the wood pick down a little bit. Okay, this one is going to come in between these two, even though they're close. It's going to come in between on an angle. So it'll be just barely sticking out. You know, you don't want everything front and center all in a row. To get the natural look, which is what I like to do, look at that. So one bloom's coming out the side, one's coming out the front, and do you see how they're at different angles? That's what creates the interest in your design. So there's that one. One more. So this one, I have one tall one. It almost looks like it's missing a bloom, but we'll just cut it off. I don't care about that. So we just need a little bit for the bottom. So I'm going to cut this really short, and then I'm going to bring the leaf back into it. Now, if you have wood picks, wind that copper wire, get them all bundled back together. If you have a stemming machine, look how it made its own little spray. And then we'll cut that pick shorter. Right like that. And then we're going to come back into the front. And this guy is going to trail down the front. Right onto the tray. Super, super cute. So not everything has to stand up in the back. I want it to look like this little bird is sitting amongst all these flowers and the ribbon and everything. So look at that little design with all those little flowers. And then he will sit right here. But wait, we have fern. We have fern. But even before the fern, look at that. Look how cute he is. And you can put him in different directions. Right like that. Now, I've had people order these. Last year I did bunny trays out of trays similar to this. But what's nice, people tell me, look what I use it for. Some people put these in their entranceway and they throw their keys on it. I mean, all different kinds of things. Easter, they're awesome. Even if it's a bird and not a bunny, you can put little pre-wrapped candies on it or pre-wrapped cookies like in the little cellophane sleeves, and then wrap the whole thing in cellophane, give it as a gift. Give it a, who's hosting Easter this year that needs a gift, right? Or maybe you have a friend that is, you just want to give a cute little gift to, or someone in the hospital that could use something little like this. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, and you can tell them, I made it myself, because you are going to make it yourself. Okay, so we have this fern. So what I'm going to do now, because you can see, and I know you guys are probably saying, there's a hole. Like, can you see the hole between here? I'm going to hold it up closer. There's kind of holes between the flowers, a little bit. Now you can leave it like this if you want. Use your fern for something else, but I'm going to show you how to incorporate the fern now. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to cut it down. So this is where you'll need wooden picks or a stemming machine again. Okay, so let's take this and we're going to cut it off of this base, the main pick. Then we're going to make little picks out of it because it's fun, right? All right, let's get that all cut down. Takes just a few minutes just to cut them all off. Where did I get my wire cutters? Did I hear someone ask that? Like I can hear it, but everybody always asks. So if you have arthritis in your hands like me, these have a spring. They're in my Amazon storefront. It's where I got them. The name of the company is Knipex. I think that's how you pronounce it. K-N-I-P-E-X. They have a spring. Makes cutting so easy and so easy on your hands. So if you need good cutters, it took me, I don't know, 42 years to buy those. I always used the old-fashioned cheapo wire cutters, and I didn't know what I was missing until I bought those. I was like, oh my gosh, those are a dream, a dream. Okay, so in your bundle, you'll get 2 pieces of line of this type of fern, and 2 pieces of line in the like sword fern, okay? Which is important. Once you cut your bundle apart, lay it out so that you can pair up your items. So what I like to do is this, dark piece of this, light piece of this, and then maybe one more piece of this. We don't need a ton of this, but we have 3 little pieces together like that. If you're using a wood pick, put it on. I'm using my stemming machine, so I'll bundle them together, There's my little fern spray. Let's do that again. A piece of this, a piece of this, and let's do a dark. We'll do a dark and light, and be creative. Make your little bundles however you want, but just be aware that there's 2 different colors in here. So you need to make sure you put some dark with the light. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're gonna put another piece of that there. So we're just bundling them up, and then we're gonna just add them to the design. So we have 1, 2, 3 already. This is what's great. That's a small, small little spray of fern. But look at when you break it apart, what you can get out of it. So when you're shopping at the craft stores or online, wherever you buy your supplies, don't let the size fool you. Size does kind of matter. Even if it's small though, if it has the ability to be cut down like this and make many sprays, it's a winner. So although this is small, it packs a punch. Okay, so then we're going to end up with just 2 at the very end. We have all these little pieces you can save for another little project, or we may put some in the back. So let's put some of these in. I'm going to start with some of the lights. So this has these 2 and that light piece there. Let's bring some into the front. Watch how the fern transforms it. Also, if you look here, see how you can see that stem? I don't like that look. This will camouflage it. So we're going to come right behind that ranunculus. I'm going to cut the pick. I'll remember by the time we're done. And I'm going to put this on an angle in here. So this is going to liven up this arrangement. It's also going to give you a little bit of depth, which is cool. Here's just one piece. I'm going to take him off because I know I'm going to drop him. There's just one little piece of fern. Look at how you get the movement. Now we're getting the depth and the height out of it. Let's bring in another one. I'm going to bring one down low by the tray underneath all the greenery that flows forward. And then we're going to kind of spread it out a little bit and bring those over it. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of fern coming out on the tray like that. Okay, next one, next. I'm going to bring one coming out. There's my son calling me. Okay, bringing some right behind that one little snowball by the bow, right here. Look at how it just changes it. Doesn't? Fern. Okay, fern is my favorite. If you followed me for a while, you probably know that. I love fern. I'm telling you, fern changes your designs. It is a little pricey to put into designs, but I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, we're going to bring another one right down here on this side. And a little bit more of an angle. If I can get this in here. Okay, right like that. So now we have 2 pieces flowing out the bottom of it. See, the bird's going to nest right in there. So good. Okay, one more piece. This is going to come right between the bow. Let's see if we can get this right. Cut it, Kathy. Come on. So it's going to look like it's coming right out the bow. We're going to separate some of the pieces out a little bit, but it's kind of nice how you, once you put it in, whoops, hold on. Didn't get it all the way in there. Okay. Once you get it in, you can kind of separate them out a little bit so that they go a little further, I guess you could say. And you can wrap the, you can actually wrap the other flowers around them. Like I said, you know how I said you combine them and intertwine them? It makes it look really cool. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to bend this down now. Use your wires. Get everything where you want it. And you are good to go. We'll take our little bird. Our bird nestles right in there next to the fern and everything. And that is our design. Let me get this up here. There we go. Look at how adorable. It's adorbs. It's adorbs. Now the back. Yep, you can see some of the foam. This is where we come around the back. Remember all these little leaves we've saved? We keep putting them to the side. Let's cover up what we can in the back. So we can move the foam around, or not the foam, the moss around a little bit, but why don't we put a couple little leaves up here? So I'm going to cut the leaves shorter and combine them. Like this. And then cut them together. So again, make it little bundles, right? If you don't have a stemming machine, this again, you could probably just put a little bit of glue on there and push them on in. We're going to go sideways with this and camouflage some of this so it just looks a little cuter. And then here's a piece. Maybe I use these guys, so it doesn't have to be all the same. Maybe we put two of these together. So this is why I like scrap leaves. You can totally cover up any little areas that need to be covered. So there's a couple there. And then where did those go? So now that I have a few green leaves in here, which I love, 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 let's bring in these guys. Remember I put them aside? Now we can cut these down. Look at, they have a main wire, so you can cut these down into 3 little picks. So let's cut that one down. I'm going to cut the stem it came off of down to the leaves. So it actually looks like just a tiny little leaf pick. And we'll cut this one down. It's a tough one. These could definitely just push in. And then this one down. So we use all our scraps, you guys. So much use for them. So this one I gotta cut down a little further. This is a tough one. Okay. So now we're gonna get these in. And I am going to put a little pick on just so they're a little bit further into the foam because I cut them down so far. So we'll cut those a little bit. And I'm going to bring this right into the base. And if they come off of the tray a little bit, it's okay. It still looks good. Oops, I lost it. Oh, I lost the pick and everything. Darn it. I'm just going to have to put it on its own pick. There we go. So I'm going to bring a piece over here. And this little one. This right in the middle here. I know you can't see. I'm talking to myself. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. I'm just putting a little roll of them in the back here. Just to cover up the foam and the back so the back looks nice. It's a good thing. And then we're going to take this little leaf. Love me some leaves, I'm telling you. And you want your back to look good, even though it's not going to be facing where it's displayed, right? You still want people to see the back and go, oh, the back is still cute, right? And this little piece, let's use it. Let's use it, you guys. That. Let's put this over here. There we go. And one more little piece. Let's bring this one in. Look at all my little pick debris. Okay, we're gonna bring this in over here, just for a little more dark on this side. There we go. So it's not completely uniform, but we've covered everything we need to cover, which is what we're trying to accomplish. All right. There's the front with our little bird. He's going to go in sideways or however you want to display him. And as we come around the back, look, it's covered with all our scraps. What do you guys think about that? Do you like tray designs? I love these kits. Love them, love them. And we even got a little ribbon in there. I love that. Thank you, Patsy. Pat, thank you so much. Michelle, yes, we ship. I have an Etsy. So these will be in my Etsy tonight, these kits. And like I said, I think there's 5. I only have 5. And then this design will actually already be done and in there to buy ready-made. Okay, you guys with me? Shall we do another one? Are you up for it? Let's see, it's 5:30. We've been on for an hour. Or we can come back tomorrow and do another one. What do you think? Diane, I'm so glad you love it. Thanks, Irene. Let's see. All right, so someone tell me, do you want us to hang out for another one or should we do it separately another day? What do you think? I'm always game, but it's up to you guys. And then I like that you have this handle to carry it around with. Isn't that fun? But put little candies in, or I'm always like, put candies on it. No, I'm not addicted to sugar. Let's see, Carol says, I love it, but I think I would like to see it brighter ribbon than a green. Yeah, kind of. Normally trays, I never put ribbon in. But it's up to you, and if you have brighter ribbon, you're welcome to put it in. It is very subdued because honestly, this is the start of the show. So sometimes when you put it in too bright, just depends. Depends on your taste, so there you guys go. But anyway, let's see. Kim's like, yes. Pat's like, another one, please. All right. All right, let's set this one aside. Let's get going on the bucket. Let's put that over there. Okay, so for the bucket, your bucket is going to come with the moss already installed, like this. You're going to get the bag of the faux moss, like this. And we're going to put a little bit of this on there. But before we do that, let's get these little moss pins. You're going to get the moss pins too. Before we do that, what do we have to do? We have to glue this guy on because he does not glue to moss very well. So you want to make sure you get him onto the bucket, onto the styrofoam. So we're going to take him, glue him at a little bit of an angle like that, and all you have to do is put hot glue on the bottom. So you'll need hot glue for this one. So we're going to be pretty generous with our glue. Don't be stingy. Put a pretty good puddle on the bottom of him. And I'll show you what it looks like that. So there's a pretty good amount of glue there. There's a glue string. And then let's get him put on. So I'm going to put him in a little bit of an angle. We're going to leave a little bit of room in front of him and behind him. So now we have room to get flowers and greens all the way around. So we'll let him dry. While he's drying, so this is what he looks like. Right like that. Look, isn't he cute? Now we're going to cover this with the moss while he's drying. So this faux moss we're using, I love it. If you haven't tried it yet, buy a kit, you get to try it. I love it. I mean, I've used reindeer moss and Spanish moss and all the things, all the years. This stuff is so much fun to use, and it does not leave a mess everywhere like real moss does. And I think it looks pretty good too. So we're just going to cover this and add some pins. We're just going to go all the way around, and it stretches, by the way. So when you get it, stretch it around. You don't have to take a big clump and just put it in one area. It goes far. So we're going to stretch that, push it in. And if your pin shows, so these are little silver pins, you see how it shows right there? All you do is pull the moss up, and you can camouflage it super easy like that. Just pull the moss back. Okay, we're going to come around this side, stretch this all out. It's almost, we were doing one of these inside the barn last week, I think, or a project with it. And I think when I think of it, when I'm stretching it, and my hands were sticking to it because my hands were dry, it's almost like it's thicker, but it reminds me when you stretch it, the cobwebs, the fake cobwebs at Halloween. Honestly, that's what it reminds me of. Except it is a thicker texture, but I'm wondering if it's similar material. It probably is. They're like, ooh, we make money with moss and with cobwebs. I'm like, okay. All right, let's get it going over here. You can pull little pieces off or you can cut it. Either way. One more little piece in front. You might have little stragglers, see those hanging down? You can take scissors and just trim them. I wait till the end because as you build it, you're going to get more stragglers, honestly. So we'll just wait. I'll do a few in the front here, but that's about it. There we go. Excuse me, they cut off. Jeez. Drink of water. Patsy, yeah, a lot of us are using it, and it's pretty economical. It goes a long way, and the fact that it doesn't make a mess, especially when I do in-person workshops, it is a breeze. Because usually, even when I moss something when I'm teaching online, I moss it and then I have to put everything aside and clean up. Look at a couple little stragglers. That's it. No mess. So nice. Love it. Okay. So there is our bird. Isn't he cute? In there. Now, do we want a little bow in this? Now, I brought the same green. I know, I'm pouring. The same green, right? We can use some of that. It's the same color scheme. Or I did bring this polka dot. It's a little bit big, but what do you think? Is it too country for that French bird? Or do you think it'd be nice to have just a couple loops? And I'm not talking making a full bow. I'm talking like a 2-loop bow with some tails. So what is your vote? Ribbon, yes or no? We don't have to put ribbon in. And if we do, which one would you like me to put in? Or do you want both? It's up to you. This is your kit. You design it. Kathy, mine, I can put you a link to this exact one. In my Amazon storefront, I have two, the dark and the light. This is light. I love it. It's the lighter green. Love it. Yes, Lisa. Hey, Lisa. That is exactly it to a T. You hit it on the head. It is just like folded satin undies with dry hands. You know how they snag? Ugh. Juanita, yes, Bob made the bird. He's in there making more right now. Both. Oh, okay, both. That's kind of cool. You know, it'd be nice with the both too, is this will pop with that. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll just do a couple loops. Okay, let's start with this. So we're going to do the same thing, you guys. We are going to make a little loop. And your first pinch is your tail, right? Your bow tail. And you just got to figure, how long do I want these tails? For this bucket, the one I'm doing is about 8 inches. We may trim it at the end. Okay, so we're going to pitch it. We're going to pull this out. Again, it's not going to be a huge bow because this is not a huge bucket. We don't want to overpower that bird too much. So this, I think, is going to be about just about 4 inches again. Kind of a tiny one. So, again, wrong sides together, pull up your loops, make sure they match in height. Twist it, wrong side down, right side back up, and that's it. There's your bow, and then I'm going to cut this for the tail. Let's throw that ribbon over there. So this is your first set, because we're going to put 2 together. So we've got the 2 loops and the 2 tails. How cute, right? And it'll go on the side over here. So what I'm going to do, because we're going to end up putting these together, I'm going to use a chenille just to tie this off. If you're a pro and you're used to making them, you can just hold it in your hand while you fasten the other one and then put them together. But because I want to teach you how to do this, we're going to just tie this off with a chenille or a pipe cleaner, whatever you call them. Right like that, and just set that down. Okay, let's take our green and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pinch it, bring it out and back. And then you can kind of lay it on your first one and go, how big do I want that? That looks pretty good. It's probably an inch smaller than this one. And then let's bring that back out like that. It's a little big, right about there. Twist it, and then we're going to cut it. I'm going to be creating a bow video for my YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe to that, I have a ton of free videos over there. All my kit videos are over there. including the bunny ones from last year that we did for spring. But I'll have a bow video there soon where I use my overhead and you can see it step by step and watch it as many times as you need to. There's the second bow. Very simple, right? Nothing fancy. So I'm going to hold this one. I'm going to take the chenille off of this one. So if you ever wondered, how do I get two ribbons together? This is how you do it. It's easy peasy, you guys. Pull your bow loops down like that. Lay this right on top. That's it. How easy is that? Lay that on top. There's your double bow. Put this aside. Grab yourself a zip tie. Don't worry about the zip tie showing. It won't, because we'll probably have a piece of greenery or something weaving through it, kind of like we did on that one. Bring this around to the back. Again, zip tie it, but don't do a death zip. We need to get that piece of wire under there because it's going into an arrangement again. So that's what it looks like now. It's not fluffed or anything. It's ugly right now. Don't judge. No judgment, because we aren't done yet. We're going to get another piece of this wire. We're going to put it under that loop or under that zip tie, 50% on both sides. If I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So half and half on each side, like that. Now we can tighten it down. Now you can do your death tighten. Tighten that puppy down, cut off the excess. Let me put these little guys over here. Okay, so now it should look like this. Now you're gonna do the bread twist, like a bread tie. Remember, I put one on one side, bring the other one to the opposite side, push it as close to the ribbon as you can. That gets your first twist off to a really snug start. Then you're just gonna twist away. You know, like we did last summer. No, that's a song, I think. Okay, so twist it up. Twist it up. I'm gonna trim this. It doesn't need to be that long, but that's how it should look when you're done. Right like that. So there's your stem to get it in. Now, if you have a picking machine, use it. If not, little glue, push this in. Not a big deal. Okay. So now I'm gonna come over here. I'm not gonna fluff this all the way. I'll do it a little bit just to make sure I've got my tails all going down, and my little loops where I want them, basically where I want them, like this. And I'm going to put this on the side, over here, on an angle. It's a biggie. It's a small bow, but it's big on this with this little bird. But like I said, we're going to put lots of different greens and flowers and things in it, so it's not going to look this out of place by the time we're done. You have to trust the process. Okay, I'm going to dovetail the bottoms here. So you fold, if you don't know how to dovetail, take your piece of ribbon, fold the edges together, and then cut from that bottom corner up to the middle of the fold at an angle. And then you end up with the dovetail. And I'm going to make this a little shorter because it's still too long. So we'll just do that. And then we'll do this one. And I'm going to cut these at just an angle because they are so little. Okay, let's get this one going. There we go. All right, our bow is in. It looks strange right now. It does. But it won't when we're done. Okay? Look at that. All right. On to our greens. We're going to use some of the same ones. Like we've got lavender. We've got these two. So yeah, I thought, what the heck? They are good background greens. Okay, so before we add those, again, we're going to do the same thing with the lavender. So we're going to take these and cut them a little shorter. Let me move him over there a little more so that we can get these up at the back. We're going to cut them a little bit shorter. Cut off the leaves. So you'll have two little sprays of lavender. So we'll come one, and then you can bend them once you get them in, but I'm going to have one coming to the left and one opposite. And we'll have one over on the other side. If you wanted to separate these and put them exactly where you want each piece, you can do that too. Pick each one separately, whatever it takes. So this one, I'm just going to put it at an angle so that we cover a little bit of the other side. I do like that I'm not having to cut down every single little pick I put in. So yeah, make them look a little wild and crazy. This is a wildflower arrangement. It's not supposed to be perfect by any means, but there's your lavender in there. Easy, 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 easy. Okay, next, let's put in this guy. You saw me cut it down before, let's do it again. 3 pieces, let's cut off the bottom 2. Then we're left with a long one. We're gonna cut it to the top of the 3rd piece. You get that, and then this is our filler for the end again. All right, so now that we have these 3, this is the thickest. So I'm going to bring this right in the back right here. Cut it a little bit shorter. And we're going to bring this right into the middle back here. Right like this. Behind our lavender. Then we're going to bring these in. Very similar to the tray. So it's kind of interesting that you can do a floral design, and I say this inside the barn a lot, I'm teaching the design, not the container, because many of these designs can go in different types of containers. That was a tray, this is a wall bucket or a bucket. So, you know, and I always say think outside the vase, because again, you don't need a vase, you can do whatever you want to do. So look at this, it's the same start to this design. I did not cut these in half like I did the others. We're leaving these big. It's a little bit different design. So let's bring one of these by this bow over here. Okay. And these, I put them at an angle, but we're going to stand them up a little, just a little bit like this. Let me bring it around this side. I need to swivel out a little bit. You know what? I am going to cut it. I'm going to cut it down a little bit. We'll end up with a couple more little pieces. They're still a little too tall. So let's cut it into 2 like we did the other one. And bring that down just a little bit. Like that. There we go, that looks a little bit more proportioned. Boy, it loves grabbing that foam moss. Oh my goodness. Totally does. Okay, and on the other side. So we're coming right in between the bow for this piece over here. So this loop, this tail are coming behind this piece. These are coming in front. So kind of interesting that you can manipulate things and put them where you want. So it'll be cute. And this one, right like that. Just a slight little bend. There's the beginning of that design. And then we still have these 2 little pieces here. So what I do want to do is bring one out, and we're going to take this piece and we're going to bend it down. So hold on to your pick with your needle nose and just like it's drooping, right? What are we going to do with this? It's going to drape out of the basket. So we're going to bring it on to the right of the bird, right at the edge, push it straight in, and then it's kind of cute because it drapes out like this and down. Okay, then we have another little piece right here, and this little guy is going to come up next to the bird in front of the bow. So we have one behind, one in front. And now you can see like the bow seems big, but as we start adding, it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, so that's that one. Next, let's add some of this guy. And I guess I should check your comments. Kind of like I call them recipes, right? Hey Janie from South Carolina. Hey Marilyn. Good to see you. What gauge? Oh my gosh. You know what? Oh look, I get it off of Amazon. So that wire that I use that's, it's not coated, it's wrapped in almost like a paper, comes in a package like this from Amazon. And honestly, each piece of wire I can get 3 cuts out of and attach 3 bows. So I'll put a link to it. It's really good. And I don't remember the gauge off the top of my head. Because yeah, I don't. Okay, let's see, what else did I not see? What is the greenery called? It's a good question. This is a variegated greenery. I don't know what they're called. Don't ask, I don't know. I buy them because I like them. So anyway, this was purchased wholesale. I was selling this in my shop. I have to see if I have any more to re-add to it. But yeah, I don't know. Good question. So what I say is, like, if you don't want to buy a kit, you know, I curate the kit. You don't have to go looking for anything. They're not that expensive. But if you want to try to make your own in your own container or a different container, whatever, just look for a variegated greenery. You know, it has 2 colors on it. This is more of a solid. It's a vivid. And look at the shape of the leaf and the colors. And some of these, you can even buy bushes like at Hobby Lobby and cut them down. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a spray like these are. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Okay, here we go. Let's cut this guy down. So bottom 2 off, like that. And then this one off, and this one off. And then we have 2 of them, again, that have 2 pieces. So I'm going to cut that little piece off, and this little piece off. Okay, so we end up 2 like this, 1 that's really tall, 1 that's medium, and 2 that are missing something in the middle, but it won't matter. So there's all our pieces. All right, so we pull this back around. Now we're going to front fill it with some of this. So I'll cut this down a little bit. This is the biggest piece that will go in the middle, right behind the bird. Right like that. So we're creating a darker green background now. Then I'm going to grab these 2. These to the side and put them in at an angle like we did on the other one, and they're stepping down, stair step down a little bit, and then 1 over on this side the same way. And this is coming behind that piece of variegated that we put in front of the bow. So this is going to be in front of the bow but behind the variegated piece, if that makes sense. So that bow is filling up quick, which I like. It's what we kind of want. Right like that. Then we have these 2 pieces. And what I'm going to do this time, because I cut that 1 piece off of this, I'm going to cut it down by this lower leaf, cut the lower leaf off, and then add it back in so it's a solid piece. Trim it at the bottom, put a pick on it. Put a pick on it. And it just slipped out of the pick, so let me pull that off. Okay, let me cut that off because it won't pull off now. Let's get these put back together. So it makes it a solid pick rather than having a big space in there. I don't really need the length, I need more of the greenery, so we just make our own little piece. Again, if you don't have the machine and you want to do this kind of cutting apart and putting back together, make your own little sprays, get the wooden picks with the copper wires. It works just as well, honestly. Okay, so we have these. I want 1 piece to come over here with the variegated piece, and it's going to drape out. So we're going to take this, and we're going to put a little bend on that, right like that. Let's have it drape out. So I'll bring that right in front of that one, and it'll drape over right like that. This guy over here, let's take him and have him come out just a little bit. So I'm going to put it in an angle right in front of the bird and out by the bow. So it kind of comes out to the side too, a little bit like that. So there's our front. And we're going to try not to do too much more near the bird. We don't want to cover him. We want to make him look like he's nesting back there in this beautiful bouquet of flowers. One piece left. We may use it for the back, so we'll put that aside. Let's get into the flowers. For this one, we're using Cosmos. Love Cosmos, so a little bit different from the ranunculus. And I like how wild these are. So we're going to cut this guy down. We'll start with the main, cut them off that main branch, and then cut this one down. We don't need a lot of length. I don't need all this. Oh, Patsy used to be a florist. That's so much fun. What a great job. Leisha, I think it is. It does look a little bit like a eucalyptus. You are right there. And that does look a little bit like Pittosporum. It may be trying to mimic that. But I think when you're looking for stems like that, like I'm using sprays and stems, look for the bushes. They're much more economical than buying individuals usually. Even like Hobby Lobby sells a lot of individual sprays in their main stems of greenery. But sometimes go over the bush aisle and do your math, because depending on how many pieces are on the bush, it might be a better deal. So, okay. This is one of the tall guys, and I'm going to leave it tall. I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter, but we're going to leave it pretty tall and put it up in the background. Okay, so that's going to go up behind the bird. Get it down into that foam. Gotta find the foam first. Push. Right like that, and you can even take these, they're pointing up, you can bend them forward so the blossom looks at you when you're looking at the design. Does that make sense? So let's take another one. There's one. Look how cute those are in there. Oh my goodness, so good. Let's get this one on a pick. This is a double, which is fun. A lot of the work is done for you. We are going to put this, and actually that's still too tall. Let's cut this down. So I'm cutting these two down into shorter pieces and putting them back together. And we're going to bring these right over here next to the bird. We'll bend them a little bit like this. Look at how cute those look in there. And you know what's funny? When I picked out the ingredients for this, or the recipe as one of you said, and I found all these that meshed really good. Then I looked at the bucket. Don't those look like Cosmos on the bucket? That flower right there? I went, those almost look like Cosmos. I was like, yes, yes, looks so good. All right, so we've got these. I love the little buds. We're gonna use the little buds too, so we'll cut those off because we wanna use those. Cut these down. Okay. Now, I'm going to have this big one trail out the front. Or should I do the little one? No, the big one. Okay, so I'm going to cut him down, put a pick on, and we're going to put a hard bend on this one. You know what I mean by that? You're going to hold your pick or your stem, and you're going to just do a hard bend. Then at the end, this is my S-curve, curve that blossom back up. So it's almost like a little S. Then when you drape this out of the bucket, the blossom will be facing you and not facing the table or the ground. So we push this in. I'm using my needle nose so I can get it all the way in. Right like that. And then we kind of bring it over by these drapers right here. But look how it comes out the front of the bucket there. Look how cute. So you want it to cascade out a little bit, and that's how you get that look. It drapes out, but the blossom comes back up at the end. And then we have one more. Let's combine it with one of these. These are the little buds. These look so cute together. So we're gonna pick those together, and then I'll separate them a little bit. This is gonna come in on this side over here. So this side gets a little bit of love. And you get to see that great little bud. There we go. one more little bud. Where can we put him? Let's put him right by the bird. I like to use it all. I knew that wasn't going to stay. Let's get that off of there and put another pick. Okay. So sometimes there's another trick. If you're using your stemming machine and your stem is too thin, add a piece of scrap to it like this, and then cut it off even. Now it has something to hang on to. Because sometimes if they're too little and then you try to pull it out of the machine, you can use your needle nose and usually get it out. These are needle nose pliers. But if not, if you double up a stem on the bottom, you can get it out every time. And then I just cut that even. So there's two stems in the pick, but not coming up where this little bud is. And this is going to come right over here. Just add a little interest to the design with another little bud. Push that on in. There we go. Get all these out of here. Look at how cute that is. All the little flowers and the little bird. Okay, but we still have to get some of our blue in. Let's get some blue in. All right, so what I want to do with this is I'm going to cut one super short. These are bigger than that was in the first kit, but we're going to have one hanging. Some of it will be on the horizontal surface where the bird is, and some is going to be cascading over the bucket. Watch this. So I'm going to pick it very, very close to the bud or the blossom. Pull that out, and we're going to put this right up where those other, right in front of the bow where all the other greenery is. And it's going to kind of come in front of the bird a little bit, but it's going to hang down. Look at that look, right like that. So much fun, you guys. I love doing this kind of design. Then let's bring one up higher in the design. Let's cut this off. Carol says, my kids bought me a stemming machine from Hobby Lobby for my birthday. Happy birthday! Wow, good kids. Those are good kids. They're keepers. They are keepers. Oh, thanks, Patsy. Yeah, I mean, when your kids recognize that you need that machine, if you're going to get into floral design, I suggest save up and get one. If you can get one on clearance like they are right now, do it. Because otherwise, like I said, they're almost $300. But you see how much I can do with it. And I can't work without it, honestly. I'm spoiled, so. Okay, I want to get one. I think we're going to put one back in the background up here. Let's try that. So just because normally once you do your background in greens doesn't mean you can't come back to the background and have a blossom or a bloom in the background. When you do that, it makes it look more natural. So because sometimes things grow into the back also and just kind of, you know, show through all the other elements, makes it look good. So we're going to put this toward the back. We're going to push that down. Let me get my needle nose, and you'll see it through the greens. And this is a good item to do that with because of the purple, periwinkle blue. So, and it kind of picks up the lavender too. But do you see how that's just kind of showing through a little bit? I'm going to bend it forward just a little bit and make sure I put my lavender back because it wants to push the lavender out of the way. So I bring my lavender right through that hydrangea or snowball bloom. Right like that. Look how cute that is. So it's actually inserted in the back, but it's coming through some of those greens we already installed, like that. Thank you. Oh, Janie, thank you for the stars. I appreciate that. So nice, so nice. You guys, I didn't pin that at the top, but you can give me stars. It helps with my addiction to flowers. I get to buy more flowers. Okay, and then this one, what I think I'm going to do, we're going to do this. If you've never done this with a hydrangea or a snowball, I'm going to show you. All these have all these little stems. So we're going to cut this in half. We are literally going to take this and split it and cut these off the main stem and pick them into two tiny pieces. So I'm going to take this, look at this. We're just going to cut it. Wedge your cutters up in there best you can. You might have to do a few at a time. Cut them off. but now you got to put them together. So you need, if you're going to do this, I'm going to tell you, stemming machine is much easier, but you can put the wire around that and put it on a wood pick. You're just going to struggle a little bit to do it if you've never done it before. But with a stemming machine, I have now made a tiny piece of hydrangea. And we're going to nestle this one right next to the bird, right up in the arrangement. Because, you know, we want him to look like he is sitting amongst all these beautiful flowers. So this one, and I gotta, where's my scissors? I gotta cut my little stragglers, my moss stragglers off a little bit because they're getting on my nerves. But see how you can put a little piece low like that? Look how cute that is, oh my gosh. Okay, so now we have that, let's see. Now what I wanna do, I don't necessarily wanna do bookends right here, but I have the rest of this piece. So, remember what I said on the last design? You want your sides to look as good as your front. So I want to bring a piece in by the bow over here. Yeah, it'll make the bow finished. It'll finish it off and make it look really good. So I'm going to cut this down, add a little pick. So I hope you learned something new with that today, because I tend to not buy the big hydrangeas with the big, huge petals. I go for the smaller ones like this. But even if you have the large ones, you can cut those down too and make little tiny pieces of hydrangea for your designs, which is this cool thing to do. It's fun. Okay, so I'm going to bring this right into the middle of that bow. And we're going to push that on in. Well, there we go. And you'll see it from both sides, which is cool. Need to fix this bow a little bit. All right, there we go. That's looking a little bit better. So it almost looks as if this one is growing through to this side. So there are all of our little hydrangeas. And now all we have left now is the back, which is okay, but let's finish it off. So we have these. Again, let's cut these off. Let's add some leaves. Let's leave it. So let's make some little leaf picks. And it actually doesn't look bad in the back at all on this one, but let's do it. Okay, I'm going to take these three here, pick them together. Let's put these on an angle over here. I don't know why I'm reaching across my table. Bring it closer in, Kathy. Bring it in. Rein it in. Okay, I'm going to cut some of these stragglers off. Trim your moss. Just clean it up, right? Let's do that again. Look at the mess I'm making. I like to make a mess. It's kind of like when my kids were little. My kids are grown, of course. Yeah, my kids are almost 40 now. But when my kids were little, it's funny, Bob would get home and every Lego, every toy, it was crazy, everywhere, all over the house. And he's like, "You didn't pick up?" And I said, "No, they just fell asleep." And I go, I could pick up all day long and they would get it all back out. But the way I look at it, if the house and the floor is covered with toys, they had a good day, right? They didn't want to be the uptight mom, like, put that away, oh my God, keep it clean all the time. No, we did not roll that way. And they're pretty good adults now. But I laugh when their kids are doing that and making a mess. They're like, put it away. I go, you remember my rule, not till the end of the day, let them have fun. Don't be too uptight. But so I look at my studio now. It's a mess right now. I must have had a good day. Had some fun making a mess in here. I can clean another day. It's okay. Quite okay. Okay, this one, let's see where we put this one. That one's a little too tall. Let's get that piece off. Let's do a little one here. So I'm just adding these along the back just to clean it up a little bit. You can also add a little extra moss if you need to. whatever it needs to plug a hole, or if your styrofoam showing or whatever, you know, make it look good. So we're just adding a couple pieces of these greens because we have them. Right like that. And then maybe a little piece of this like before. Cut this guy down. Add a little pick. I just don't have to cut the picks down because they're the right size. Okay, so let's get these in, and then I'll show you what I did around the back. So we're just plugging them in as we go and covering the moss and just making it look a little fuller in the back, which I love to do. That's the best compliment you can get to when you get reviews and they say, the back was beautiful too. It's like, okay, I did my job. I did my job. Okay, I like that there. I want a piece here. And then I can kind of broadcast a little of this in the back too, so it shows a little. I did that last time. I did not learn my lesson. So let's pick just the leaves. It happens. It really does. Okay, a little piece there of the variegated leaves. So we have a little bit of the leaves, a little bit of the variegated ones. We have this. I don't think I need it. Let's look at the front now. Let me move this moss out of the way. What little there is. All my debris. Pretty good. But what are we missing? Do you guys remember what we're missing? I think we should put some in. Thank you, Kathy. Thanks, Juanita. Yes, right? Kathy, a bird nest would fit in there. And you could do a bird nest out of moss, you guys. Seriously, make your own. You don't have to go buy a bird nest by any means. So just, you can even take a little Spanish moss, make a bowl, roll it up tight, and then mold it into a little nest if you wanted to. We'll get rid of all this. What did I not put in it? Does anyone know? Ooh, berries would look so cute. I don't have any berries right now. Janet, yes, fern. We did not put the fern. Here's the pick of fern. Let's make it a little bit better with the fern. I just think it does. It just brings it to another level. We're going to do the same thing we did before. I know I'm boring you now, but here we go. We're going to cut this down. Let's cut it down and make our own little fern sprays. Okay. There's our first little group. One second. There's that one. And this one. And since you watched the other, yep, 3 greeneries, right? Kathy, you know me. 3 greeneries, yes. So I like to use 3 different greeneries in my designs. It makes it look more interesting. And I'm looking not just at leaf size, I'm looking at color and texture. And when you get 3 different of all of those, it really does well for your design. Okay. So I'm going to put these together quickly because I know I'm probably boring you guys by now. Hopefully I'm not. But let me just make a bunch of fern pits because you saw me do it before. Let's put these 2 together. And then I got to work on pricing and listing these. If they're not, I'm hoping, I don't want to say absolutely, I'm hoping. The other thing is, Bob has something on the computer tonight, so if he takes up the internet, I may not be able to upload. So if they're not here tonight, they will be up by tomorrow for sure. Just to let you guys know. We fight over the internet on certain nights, which is fine. Okay, here's just a little piece of this. So let's get these guys in here now. So we're going to take some greeneries and get it into the background a little bit more. So I'm going to come in front of the bow, next to the bird, right up next to that bird, and push this in. Oh, the fern! The fern makes it, you guys. Look at this. And then spread your fern out. look at the fern. It creates that little forest, you know, the birds nestled in there even more when you do that with the fern. It just, I don't know, softens the whole design. Okay, so here I'm going to come in front of the greens, but behind the Cosmo, and behind the tiny little hydrangea that's sitting on the ground, right like that. Do you see the difference with that green? Such a difference. So much fun. Okay, another piece over here. Let's bring a piece. This has a little bend to it, but not a lot. But let's drape some out the front with all those other little elements. See how much it'll drape. Oh, it's a draping. It's doing it. I'm gonna bring that back over. We'll separate these pieces of fern a little bit, so that we gotta have a little fern draping down, right? Look at the fern coming down the front. Okay, we have one more big piece. Let's see, I think we need a piece in front of the bow. We want the bow to I don't want the bow to be in your face. This is a natural design, so sometimes you'll see I won't even put bows in, but you guys wanted a bow, so it's fine. But I'm gonna bring a piece of fern in front to soften the bow a little bit. So it's there, but it's a little bit less conspicuous. Right like that. You still see the bow loops and everything. But look at that little piece right there. Right here. So pretty. And it's just filling in the whole design and just making it look pretty. Okay, we have one more piece. I'm going to come up, and don't feel bad about doing this too. See this top hydrangea, that Cosmo? Just pull them apart and get this piece of fern down in there. So we're going to get one behind the bird. The bird's head, I guess you could say. Push that on in, and then just drape them out. And it also kind of makes that hydrangea not so much in your face. We have little pieces we don't need. Let me trim my straggling moss. That is the one thing that this moss does, is it tries to kind of hang out a little bit. But so does Spanish, so it's fine. All right, guys. There she is. Look at that with all of the fern in there. And then you turn it around the back, it still looks good because we added some leftover greens. So keep those greens. When you're designing, keep your scraps. You never know when you're going to need them. And the bow looks great coming out the back. So you can see these bow loops over here. So it started out as a huge bow. Even though I made it smaller, do you see that by the time you add all the elements, it brings it on in. There you go. What do you guys think? Do you like that one? Selena, thank you. Where am I from? I live in Redding, California, and I'm born and raised in California. We are 2 hours from the Oregon border, so we're way north. We are nothing like Southern California. We are nothing like the Bay Area, which is San Francisco. So we're very rural up here. So yeah, that's where I'm from. Thanks, Joyce. Thanks, Patsy. Juanita loves it. I'm so glad. Janie, what was your base inside the bucket? What was my base? You mean I put green styrofoam, if that's what you're asking. And when you buy the kit, it will come with that already wedged in for you. So there's that one. So 2 kits that are gonna drop in my shop. Use this one. They both get the gold bird, courtesy of Bob, who's busy in there printing them for us. And this little guy. This is the cheese tray turned into a design. So that one will have the little bird. He won't be attached. You can just set him in like that. And that way some people are like, no, I'd rather have more space for goodies or whatever. And then you can put this on a stack of books or something if you don't want to use it in the tray, but it does come with the kit. So there's that one, completely done all the way around. And this one. Did you guys like that? And it's funny, similar design, 2 different containers. So that's why I say think outside the vase, and I'm teaching the design, not the container, because many designs will go in different applications like this. There you guys go. Juanita, you missed the first one. I'm going to have it on replay, and what I'm going to do is move this video. It's a twofer, but I'm going to move it to my YouTube so it can be watched on replay over and over again. And I'll put the link in because Facebook does delete them after 30 days. So I just move them on over. So it'll be over there by tomorrow. So there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed that. So I'm Kathy with Big Barn Blooms, taking the fear out of kids today and Golden Crown Birds. Again, I will pin to the top if I can pin it. If not, I'll just comment. I'll put the link to my Amazon. I'll put the link to Inside the Barn if you want to join us inside the barn and learn more tips and tricks in floral design. We do all kinds of florals in there. If you have a wedding coming up or know somebody, I have a whole wedding series in there. I teach you everything you need to know about every design for a wedding. All the things, and a little bit of biz in there, a little bit of social media. We do a little bit of everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Any more questions at all? Kathy, you're so welcome. Thanks, Jennifer. Patsy says, love them both, love the blue and white. I'm so glad you guys love it. Very nice. Alrighty, go. Oh, Patrick. Was that Patrick that asked me where I'm from? So Patrick is a scammer, it looks like. So anyway, whatever. I'll get rid of him. Yeah, he's asking everyone. I didn't catch that, but oh well. Anyway, I am from California. All right, guys. I'm Kathy. Again, Big Barn Blooms, taking the fear out of kids today and bird designs. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will be live again hopefully soon. Just to catch up with you, we have a family member that is on hospice, so we will be heading out of state here this week. So you probably won't see me for a week, but when I get back, we have more kids to do. So Inside the Barn, I'll talk to you guys more about that tomorrow, but you guys kind of know already about it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you follow my page for more designs, and make sure you like this post, comment if you can. It helps me with Meta, just saying. And I appreciate your support. All right, guys, have a great rest of your Thursday, and welcome to the weekend. Here we go. Bye now.